Welcome to the very first Make 48 competition in Minnesota, hosted right here at Minnesota State College Southeast.
The teams will work in the makerspace on the challenge Safety in Manufacturing, sponsored by Fastenal.
At Make 48, teams are given a challenge and have just 2 days to design and build a working prototype. They're supported every step of the way by expert tool techs, mentors, a patent attorney, and a makerspace brimming with tools and cutting-edge equipment. After the clock stops, they will present their ideas to a panel of judges, and the winner will take home $2,000, a custom-made trophy, and a trip to nationals.
Let's see how those bright minds engineer their way through the next 48 hours.
My name is Amy Gray from Make 48, and are you guys ready to innovate this weekend?
And I am Sherelle Howard, and I am excited to be with you today.
I think there's one lady who is even more pumped that you are here. Let's introduce and welcome up Marcia Danielson, the president of Southeast.
At Minnesota State College Southeast, we are both career tech ed and a transfer institution. My hope is that there can be some synergy between our faculty students and the students that are in this competition. Perhaps they would be interested in coming here as a student, or if not, that they could tell others about their incredible experience here with our faculty and our state-of-the-art facilities.
I just want you to know at Southeast, you are not only welcome, you are wanted here. Good luck with your innovation and have fun.
This event wouldn't be possible without the support of our challenge sponsor, Fastenal.
So what does Fastenal do? We sell industrial and construction supplies in about 3,700 markets around the world. I started with Fastenal in 1992. That year, we did $81 million in revenue. Today, we're a $7.5 billion company with 24,000 employees in 48 states. Now that 81 million we did that year, today it takes us 3 days. And that comes from folks just like what's in this room because of ideas, because of creativity, because of innovation, and the continued drive to see success.
Safety in manufacturing was your guys' prompt. The problem: manufacturing floors are bustling hubs of activity, but they can also pose a significant safety risk. Your team is to brainstorm, design, and build a prototype of a product or system that improves safety on the manufacturing floor. Now that you guys know what your challenge is, let the innovation begin.
4, 3, 2, 1.
First, we were kind of discussing like big ideas. At the start, we didn't all agree with our idea. I wanted to go more on a route of dealing with hand injuries or injuries with posture and heavy lifting.
One thing that one of the advisors told us that really stood out to us was he'd have to bend down and pick stuff up off the floor, which hurt his back, which is one of the big problems that we're trying to solve here.
So it sounds like our two problems that we're kind of working on is ergonomics and or forklifts.
Going down kind of the ergonomic where you're talking, something to stand on, I'd encourage you guys just kind of look. There's a lot of anti-fatigue matting out there right now.
In the couple of hours that we've been here, we've already been faced with a couple of struggles of trying to get something set in stone. All the problems that we came across seem to already have a solution.
You got OSHA verified stuff already, and they've already made it so well that there's nothing much you can do about it except modify it to make it even better if you even can. So I think that's our main setback that we had.
We happen to have somebody that works at Fastenal in manufacturing, so we could lean on her. But if you're having stuff being lifted off the conveyor over your head, and then do you bring that down onto a table, or do you put that on a different conveyor belt?
On a different conveyor belt.
So you're not working with this repetitive motion, you're more of up and down?
It's a bit of both, I guess.
I don't know how to fix that though.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on any of the action. Subscribe to the Make 48 YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch every exciting episode. Be the first to know when new episodes drop.
The clock is ticking as day one gets underway.
Let's check in on some of the ideas.
I think our biggest challenge, at least right now, we have like 3 different ideas, and now we have to narrow it down to one.
One team, they had 2 really good ideas. They said, like, we don't know which one to pick.
It's hard to like decide between our ladder and our glasses idea because they're both very unique, very efficient.
Look at the pros and cons of both. What's going to be the cost of each solution versus what it's trying to solve. If you have to spend $10,000 to reduce $1,000 worth of injury, it's probably not, an economically viable solution. But if you have a $20 solution that can reduce $50,000 worth of injuries, giving them ways to, kind of think about that.
What one are you more passionate about?
I think
both good ideas.
We all seem to be more interested in the latter. We think it's a bit more practical and kind of...
It'll be a lot easier to sell.
Yeah.
Glasses, with how cheap they are for safety glasses, having something expensive will not be very appealing. I think so. I agree.
Me and Stevie, we won a Skills USA competition in Watertown, and then we went to the state.
I think what would be the best one for to push back
bring it up, right?
Because if you have a spring or you have something mechanical like that, when you move it, it could bounce, it could get stuck even and bounce.
Right.
And you don't want whatever's in those boxes to bounce and shuffle around. So I would almost lean towards either the scissor lift or the air.
One big part that separated us from the rest of the pack was that ours is very simple. And it's something I think we can take into account here.
You know the KISS principle, right?
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Best one you can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't said that for half an hour.
Yeah, I was thinking it earlier.
We have an experimental vehicle team, and I've been on it for 2 years now. I was the captain this year, and we compete at a competition called Shell Eco Marathon. We build 2 hyper-efficient vehicles.
One thing that kind of held my project back, we rushed a little bit too much into the building phase and the production phase, that we didn't take a long time to really look at our ideas and really narrow down what would actually work and what's worth putting our time into. So one thing that I want to change here is really evaluate what other ideas we can have.
We decided that it'd be best to tackle slip and falls as they make up 19% of all manufacturing-related incidents, which is shown by our product, which is meant to contain oil spills and water spills.
Have you guys thought about what material you guys
Like
are making out of?
Rubber, we were looking at 3D printing at a TPU. That's able to stop liquid flowing through it.
I think the other thing I would think about then too is let's make sure we're not going to have some type of reaction. We don't have incompatible materials there with whatever
Gotcha.
you're building your solution out of.
The Winona area and southeast Minnesota are homes to some of the worldwide known brands. So this area honestly is really known for their amazing entrepreneurial spirit.
I drove by this building, I don't know how many times, and you see the brick exterior, you don't know what's going on inside these walls.
When I walked in, I was like, wow, I've lived in Winona at least 5 years, and I never knew so much items could be produced right here.
Our faculty are top-notch. They really care about our students.
All the instructors at Southeast came from industry. They know what we need out there. So you come here, we train you for everything that we have experienced and all the problem-solving skills that we've developed by doing this in the field.
Proud of the fact that I have 100% placement every year I've taught here.
Hopefully this opens the door to partnerships in the community as well as, spark some interest with students that either saw themselves pursuing their education differently or maybe didn't even see an educational path at all, they can start right here, and they can see that the minute they walk in the door.
I think it was Richard Feynman, the physicist, who said one time, in order to develop ideas efficiently, I fail as fast as I can. I love that.
I'm here today to evaluate the inventions for all the teams and to make sure that they don't infringe on a patent, and it's a bonus if maybe they have a patentable invention, and we can look into that a little bit.
I'm feeling pretty confident with our idea right now. We have talked to our patent attorney. He says that we have very specific ideas with ours that should just clear every patent.
And it would be the same as like your door card. It's like you get in, and if you're authorized for this machine, you tap your machine, it turns on your, like you can turn on your machine then. But if you don't tap your card, your button won't turn on your machine. It just won't work.
It's just pretty much adding on to the pre-existing system that's already in place for security for getting into the shop and doing what you have to do. It's just taking it to another step and going machine by machine to make sure proper training and requirements are met.
One thing that I find really interesting is that being high school students, they don't necessarily have an extensive background in manufacturing, which on one hand, they don't know what they don't know, but on the other hand, it's really helpful in a way because they can tackle problems from a perspective that I think a lot of people that are in it every day don't necessarily think about.
One of the neat things about this museum is it is actually the original Fastenal store. Their desk was a door on sawhorses, according to legend. Their cash register was a cigar box filled with money. One of the interesting things about it is that it happens to be next door to the founder's father's business, which was an auto parts store. One of the struggles they had early on was they had literally one employee working here. They solved the problem by simply knocking a hole in the wall that allowed Ed Curlin to come over and serve any customers that happened to walk in. There's some pretty cool things in here, including a sled that was used in the Olympics. From this humble beginning, it's amazing to think that Fastenal now has 3,400 locations or business units spanning 25 countries across the globe, and it all started right here.
Are you excited to see what innovations are going to be created? Me too. Stay tuned for more Make 48 action.
We've gone to see the patent attorney.
The key priority during these patent evaluations is just to make sure that they do not infringe. Because if they infringe a patent, there's no way these products can go forward.
We never really agreed on whose idea was best to follow until we went to the patent attorney, and then we got our best idea from him.
Turned out all three of our ideas are on decent ground. So now we have to decide which one we actually want to do.
We have to start off with the arm thing. The only thing that I have the issue with is that when you are designing the arm with the hook on it, if that would encroach the patent of literally an arm brace. The dispensing of totes is probably going to be the easiest. Yeah.
To make?
Yes, to make.
I was really happy with our focus group meeting.
They gave us oh, maybe use seatbelt buckles for the material and straps. And that's how we got our ratchet idea. And they also gave us critiques on how the hand should be and maybe take into account on hand anatomy in general and what fingers can be the strongest and what we can take from that into our prototype.
I think one really important piece of advice was they helped us realize who our end user is. We were thinking more of a manufacturing operator or a technician on a factory floor, and now we're thinking that we're marketing our idea to ladder companies.
One thing that I'm excited about is after talking with the focus group, I found out that it's actually something that could be implemented at a factory or in the manufacturing world.
The problem we identified was people who are not certified or aren't trained using tools they shouldn't be.
I like the box idea, and I do think it has to lock because that's half the security thing.
Yeah. The solution we made up was have a box that all the cable would go in,
Do we want to unlock with like a key or?
I mean, you can do a key.
You can go either key or with the RFID. And inside the box, we have a RFID controller, which connects to a relay, which can stop the current from going to the tool. And what you need would be a RFID tag in which you can put it on there. And if you aren't qualified, it wouldn't pass current towards the tool.
I would say there's probably 1 or 2 teams that I do have concern with. We look to like electronics. We have a couple teams working on electronics. We're also working through some coding issues, you know, an RFID reader, both on tools as well as maybe a lockbox. So there's gonna be some complexity in microelectronics, maybe some Python coding.
So it's gonna have a hard wire that goes from the RFID reader to
the contact,
the box, right?
The relay and the contact.
So do we even need a microcontroller then?
Well, it has to make sure it's the right RFID.
Yeah, you're gonna need something in there.
So I don't know. I'm gonna have to research some stuff about how RFID security systems work because I'm not sure.
As day 1 comes to an end, all the teams have a concept and are ready to start prototyping.
Day 2 promises an early start as teams hit the ground running to source their materials.
Today we came in at 6:30, got breakfast, and then just started going to work.
So me and my teammate Charlie, we learned that in order to get our thing programmed the way we needed it to, we needed to learn Python, and nobody in our team had any experience with coding. We stayed up all night. It was no sleep for either of us, just trying to get a Raspberry Pi to work, and that ended up not working at all, so we had to switch to an Arduino board.
This right here says self.trigger_light duration equals 10. Light stays on for 10 seconds.
It's not 10 seconds right now.
I know it's not.
Well, when you put
that in there, it
when you
comes
put
nothing.
duration in, it finds that a problem. It doesn't like having the word duration in the trigger light.
Yeah, it's just not gonna work. We'll have to troubleshoot more.
We went on hardware run this morning, and we needed 2 spools of wire, 1 black, 1 red, just so we knew which one was which. And then we needed 2.5-inch bolts. So we went to the store, which is kind of funny because that's how Fastenal started. They couldn't find what they needed, so made their own.
So the 2 teams that I've done some work with so far has been the Pirates of the Mississippi. And they're building it's kind of a compression piece. So as weight gets put down onto the platform, it slowly goes down. And as you pull weight off, it's spring loaded. So it keeps it up to keep people from having to bend over and hurt their back, which is something I'm intimately familiar with as someone who's hurt my back.
Somebody needs to hold this tight so it can stay flush.
The original idea we had for our prototype, we were planning to make like a pulley going down, but we had problems trying to gently release the pulley. So we had to do quite a bit of reconfiguring, reconstruction. So we decided to pick up an automatic ratchet strap that would automatically tighten around a box, and you would have grips on your hands that would clench onto the box to make sure it's secure and against you. And when you would bend down, it would like kind of force you to bend down, keeping your back straight, which is great. You know, it'll protect future workplace accidents, future long-term health effects, you know.
Time for the test. Perfect, all right, give it slack. Perfect. Sweet.
I think sometimes the practicality, like the gray team and with their idea to pick up boxes, I think the idea is great, but something some of the other tool techs and I said, like if you have someone in industry who's been doing something for 50 years, like they'll find a way to get around whatever we give them. And so I think an idea like that has a lot of potential, but the ability to misuse it is just so easy that I don't know if I could ever see it going to market.
This weekend, we've had multiple people help us with the 3D printer because we've made several prototypes for our prototype.
3D printing, you are melting plastic and layering it to make a 3D object.
At Make 48, I bring the 3D printers, so we are able to 3D print for all the students. We help with 3D design as well.
So a lot of the students are doing their own CAD work and bringing me the files.
which is amazing. This means their high schools are really equipping these kids for all of this 21st century digital factory sort of stuff.
Taking a CNC machining class, it taught me what pieces are a lot easier to utilize and prototype and which pieces can really just end up being more of an inconvenience. For example, I know that in the piece we're manufacturing right now, it would not be viable to CNC mill it out of plastic because we would like to have a small, thinner edge to it, and that can be really difficult to create when CNC milling. Instead, we could utilize 3D printing. Different filaments can be easier to create thin pieces with.
With some teams, you'll end up with a sketch, like build this. Like, what am I looking at? Am I holding it in the right direction? But everybody here has been very easily communicated with, both in their design and what they're looking for.
Tristan and Bentley have kind of taken that marketing portion, and then me and Gavin have been more working on the actual product.
Olin does a lot of the managing and kind of helping out, and he's going to do a lot of our video work. Corey, he is doing a lot of our 3D modeling and putting stuff together. One thing I've learned about like working together as a team and not trying to be an expert at everything is like definitely trusting other people to know their job and to do it right.
We're here at the Epilogue Laser. A team asked me to cut a small piece of 1/4-inch cast acrylic, so I'm going to be engraving the Fastenal logo onto here as well as cutting it out, and you can see that on the laser actually right now. So it's going to do 2 passes. We're going to do an engraving pass, and then we'll actually cut the outside out as a final pass, and it takes 3 minutes and 55 seconds. That's the power of the laser.
Today I'm kind of focusing on just, the building, getting all working.
Down.
Down.
Down. And now we lost one.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. I foresee a lot of like adjusting and leveling and, basically jerry-rigging it so it'll work. I'm good. All right, tighten it. Actually,
Rachel, measure it.
Up.
Right there. No moving it. It stays here. Stays here.
When I was sanding our ladder, Chase kind of helped me. I didn't really know how much sanding until it's enough sanding or too little, and he gave me a quick demonstration and it really helped me.
Now let's figure out the sounds.
Yeah.
Because we have a door alarm.
Is that what keeps going off? I'm wondering where that doorbell's coming from.
Because we're doing it so that we're trying to make it so that when this goes up here, and then when the ladder unlocks.
Oh, it breaks that. I got it.
So when it unlocks, it will notify the notification system.
Right. No, that's a great idea.
With our tracks that go on our scissor lift, there's wheels on the top that are touching the springs, and there's a lot of pressure on those. And before we just had little metal wheels that were on a screw. Now we change them to bearings that will roll in there instead of just slide along a groove.
And the team I've been really impressed with is the black team. They have really dived into building a complete working prototype, working with the machine shop, working with the welders, working with the CNCs to really make something that is actually showing the entirety of their idea.
Through our program, sky's the limit to what our students can make. If they have an idea, we teach them how to design, program our CNC machines, and actually make that object.
Altogether, our design didn't really work out.
It's going to be very awkward to push this button.
I think if it's done right, I could see it being a great solution.
The top innovation trophy. And moving on to nationals is...
Welcome back to Make 48.
It's day 2, and teams are continuing to build and prototype on their challenge, Safety in Manufacturing.
Let's check in on their progress.
My group has created a system that helps you from accessing machines that you aren't trained or qualified to access. So you just have a card on your boot and it scans the machine. If you're not qualified, you can't access it, the machine won't turn on, but if you are, the machine will work for you.
We've made a lot of progress. This morning, all we had was one of our blocks CNC'd out, but now we have all of our blocks. We were making 3 for the full ones.
We're going to use a belt to be able to drive both sides of the dispenser to be able to make them go the direction to actually drop the totes that we're going to drop. And the belt of driving this one is going to drive this one the same direction, and we need them going the opposite direction. And I was thinking, well, if we put an idler pulley in between, that will switch directions. Like, no, it still keeps going the same direction.
Do you just want to spin it like we've been doing?
Yeah, do that. Yeah. Focus on everything else.
Focus on everything else because there's so much else, everything else we need to do right now.
We had to go get another motor, and we're going to just have to use 2 motors.
The team I've been working the most with is DIY or Die. They've been working on a lot of small pieces to add to their ladder. So those have been a lot of 3D printing components.
For our product, we wanted to have levels on the ladder. So we 3D printed a little rectangle right here with a scoop, and then we glued in our levels.
They're able to try that directly on their ladder and then maybe make some tweaks, and then we'll print it again. And that's the perks of having a 3D printer. You could do that rapid prototyping.
When they first gave me this part to print, she actually sent it to me like this, in this orientation with this hole in the middle. It's really important to keep in mind that you need support when 3D printing. So if I was able to flip it like this, you actually don't need support at all. We are trying to create a device that essentially picks up boxes and that can move them more efficiently to a point where you don't have to feel as much fatigue. We're trying to figure out a way to press the button that controls a ratchet to strap over the box. But the thing is, this button, it's in a spot where it's just right underneath the palm. And so we can't necessarily push it.
It's going to be very awkward to push this button, but hopefully they're forgiving about that.
I mean, okay.
In a proper time with like more time and stuff, we could always say like, well, preferably there would be a button here for the retractable.
Nate, John, and I are working on more of the building project.
These are both too heavy. It'll go all the way down.
Yeah. You need like something that's like half
So
of that.
that's easy. Guess what?
Take half
There's nails.
them
Take the
out.
half nails out. So you want like 3 of these boxes this weight. So you can show it going down, show it going down further. You put the third one on, it comes down here.
So then you can set them on here.
And then you take them back out. It'll come back up to you.
We have another team member, Joette, that's working on more of the numbers and the pitch kind of stuff.
The energy is building as teams collaborate and innovate on this busy day too.
Keep watching for more action.
Where's the RFID chip?
Peek through it.
Okay, here, ready,
slide
ready?
it, slide in.
Okay, no. Slide the phone in, okay.
Put the RFID chip.
Yeah, RFID chip in, okay.
And
oh my God. Lovely, and. Oh, it works!
we can sell that.
We can easily sell that.
Today we finally got to see it work. Finally seeing some result after all that work felt really good.
Fall with your legs straight instead of bending them.
Okay. That was bad. Not bad. I did not fall. Okay. Is that bad?
That was probably the best one we've gotten.
Day 2 offers a unique behind-the-scenes glimpse into the Make 48 magic for our VIP guests.
Industry partners, education pioneers, and bright minds are here to connect with teams, network with our partners, and witness the future of innovation firsthand.
To see the partnerships with business and industry and to take on real life problems is one of the things I'm glomming onto. It's fascinating to watch students engage with business and industry and solve real life problems. So I'm all in. That's what education's all about.
If we've got a student that wants to learn about marketing, well, what better way to do that alongside someone who runs the marketing campaign and help them do it? And so when I look at the kinds of opportunities that are going on here, solving real products for real clients, bringing real new solutions into the world, that's exactly what we're after too.
I think this is part of the maker movement, right? The maker movement started in the early 2000s at MIT with the Fab Lab idea. And I think Make 48 is this culmination of people recognizing finally that this is something that humans need to do.
We know that the future of the workforce is going to start here. Something like this with the high schoolers, we were just really excited about, because getting them more excited for that future of working in construction and the innovation that comes with that, and working with all different kinds of people and doing something that's kind of scary, but pushing yourself.
I'm seeing the confidence of the students from when they did the walk-in yesterday to what they're demonstrating now. Their whole body language, their posture, their confidence has just soared, and helped them to understand that they are awesome and they can do whatever they put their mind to.
Day 2 is coming to an end.
Some teams are done prototyping, while others, they might be having a late night.
Stay tuned for tomorrow, where a winner will be crowned.
Got done building our prototype about 10 o'clock last night.
Throughout yesterday, it was a lot of stress at the end of the day, figuring out the motors. Altogether, our design didn't really work out.
So we had these motor mounts all made. Then we actually hooked up the motors to the electronics, into the battery. And they're just standard robotics motors, so if you don't control them at all, they just go around 7,000 RPM, and that was way more than we needed.
And so we went around looking for a 12-volt dimmer switch like you'd have in a camper. And we went to 4 different stores here in town, and we couldn't find anything. So we resorted to not being able to have the motors.
So we had to just use hand levers.
I don't think there was any tough decisions to make, because we all know our strengths, so we didn't intrude onto like the person's expertise. Of course, I had impact and feedback on like the video editing, but I didn't have like the final decision of like this or that, because I know I'm not that good at it, so I understand that.
We're working on a sales pitch right now, and we're kind of dividing up the pitch into like segments.
So right now I'm working on the advantages of the product compared to its competitors.
Do you have in there like the adhesive, how our competitor has?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Adhesive, modular,
Yeah,
reusable,
so we're very reusable. Okay.
Eco-friendly. Do I want to throw that in there? Yeah,
you should throw that in.
We're finishing up the final things, including our video. It's being edited right now. Kind of cutting it close here.
Trying to work on this video. I don't know why the recording, I don't know why it's not recording for us.
If you screenshot it, we could figure out a way to just let it like...
Just have like an animation, like a falling animation or something through it, yeah. That might just, well, we could try that, and then if it doesn't work, we'll have to put it through.
I'm really liking our pitch. We're focusing on kind of appealing to guilt. That's a strong emotion, especially for these upper level like CEOs or vice presidents, as they have to care about a lot of people below them.
Should we end it there, or should we add that, again, closing statement to make them feel guilty again?
Like almost a rhetorical question, like wouldn't you want your precious workers to be safe?
You want your valuable workers.
Yeah. And that's your closing sentence, is kind of a stinger. Like, are you gonna do something about this?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna just sit there?
Going to the agilities, none of us are like selling and communicating. So we'll have to figure out how to present it to the judges in a way that they'll like it.
Joette's a really good public speaker overall, and it's great to have her here.
When I took the agilities test, one of my main ones was selling and communicating, which I think is definitely a big part of my public speaking ability and role on this team.
The price of the 1,000 units is based off of like if it was highly manufactured. So take the current weight of this, times it by the cost of polyethylene, 90 cents a pound.
Okay.
And then add the price of the ratchet strap.
So how much does this weigh?
That we actually have to figure that out. I do not know how much it weighs.
Okay, then let's weigh this first right now.
All right.
So it's like 4.1?
Yep. It's really only 4
Yes.
pounds? Yep.
That's
I
why
thought
this
this would be
divot is
way heavier. Oh my gosh.
The tool techs always get to make a trophy, and it's basically a large wooden gear that we're putting a stem on with all our logos, and then the paper airplane flying out above.
Part of it's going to be out of aluminum, so I'm going to engrave some lettering and stuff on that.
We're printing a bunch of tiny little safety cones and little hard hats to kind of represent that safety problem that they were given.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the judging and closing ceremonies for the second regional competition of Season 9. The overall winners for Best Innovation will receive a trophy and $2,000 prize money. I would like to introduce our very esteemed judges this afternoon. First up, we've got Brent Rader from Fastenal.
I've spent the past 25 years working at Fastenal, and just through the course of those 25 years, I've had the chance to both work in design and development of safety products for our customers. And most recently, for the past 15 years, I've led a group of specialists who engage with our customers and help them find solutions for their safety needs.
We've got Haley Schott from Fastenal.
So working out of the manufacturing facility, I'm familiar with the types of hazards that are present on the manufacturing floor.
Finally, Mark Zocker from Winona Creators Collective.
My background has actually been in information technology for the last 20 years. I got hooked on maker spaces after I was able to laser engrave my first IKEA cabinet drawers. So I think between the prototyping, the software development, the startup experience, I'm well poised to be able to bring a different voice to the judges' team.
Are we ready for our pitches? We are going to get started with Innovators Forge.
Good luck, everybody.
I'm
all right.
I'm nervous.
I'm so proud of you. You're going to be fine. Nothing to be worried
We
about.
got this.
First Pain is the sneaky workplace villain that nobody talks about until it strikes. That's why we designed the Crab Claw, a tool engineered to make lifting safer, smarter, and significantly less wrist-wrecking.
As you can see, the ratchet on the inside will stretch out to fit around any size box. The bottom support will support the bottom of the heavy boxes, which prevents blowout onto the floor. There's a button that you will press, immediately straps and wraps around the box, secured in the front, secured on the sides. Perfect for lifting heavy objects with ergonomical support for your wrists.
Do you have an understanding of how heavy of a box you think you'll be able to lift with it?
Max weight, we would say around 40 pounds.
Okay.
But I'd say if we did a little more work and had a little more time, I feel like we could raise that max weight limit to something maybe 60 pounds probably.
Wingers, you guys are up next.
1 out of every 265 manufacturing workers having a liquid-induced slip and fall injury.
Fortunately, I'm excited to present Slip Block. Unlike our competitors who rely on a sticky adhesive to stay in place, we use a modular design in order to allow for easy access to the machine and cleanup. Spill Block may have been designed specifically for manufacturing, but it would be easy to integrate into places like schooling, labs, and warehouses. Anytime people and liquids interact, you want Spill Block.
The material it's made out of, it's pretty much unbreakable. It would last for years and years and years, and it's very easy when painted to wipe oil off of it. It's not very porous. Kind of on the environmental part, it's 100% recycled rubber.
Slips are like dad jokes. They happen too often and nobody's laughing, besides your insurance company. To summarize, don't wait for a spill. Be ready, invest today. How does it keep the liquid contained without adhesives?
We have this brim here. When it's like the actual rubber, it would be thicker and it would keep itself down more. Also, the type of rubber we're using will kind of conform to like more porous floors better, and it'll kind of go with the shape of the floor so that nothing's really getting under it.
Next up is DIY or die.
The lock and level is a smart ladder system that helps protect you before something goes wrong. Built-in level sensors and a central lock sensor give you real-time feedback, whether that's through lights, sounds, or maybe both. It tells you when the ladder isn't set up right, so you don't have to find out the hard way. It's built using a standard ladder design and simple circuitry. We're looking to market this towards major ladder companies like Werner and Louisville. These companies can market the product not only to manufacturing companies, but also to the residential market where people like me and you are looking to DIY and not DIE.
What have you thought of around alerting someone if the battery is dead? Because I could see myself thinking, oh, this is all fine because it's not beeping at me.
So we were targeting manufacturing in the first place, and so they would have yearly checkups, not only on the batteries, but also on the calibration of the system, of the sensors. And so it would be more of a yearly thing that you'd have to get checked.
Do you have a front runner right now in your brain, in your head?
I don't know yet. Yeah. How about you, Brett?
I don't know. So there's ones that are definitely pitched better.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've reconciled like best idea versus best pitch. Does that make sense?
Next up is Red Hawks 27.
We're not just offering another safety measure, we're bringing you a revolution in workplace production. That's where EasyGuard comes in. EasyGuard is powered by RFID chips. That's similar to the ones you use in your hotel key card.
We designed a small RFID card reader that fits into your common work boot. Charlie here was hired a couple months ago, and he was properly trained to work this machine. When he scans his foot under the reader, the light turns on. It has showed that he is granted and is kept in a log. But Maddie was hired last week, not properly trained for the machine, and when she holds her foot under the card reader, it reads back red, shows that she was denied access to the machine, and still logs it.
With EasyGuard, you're making a proactive choice to protect your workers and your bottom line.
Pirates of the Mississippi.
I want everybody in here to think of a time where you or someone that you love or care about suffered from a back injury. I'm sure we've all been there. I've been there and I'm only 17. At our school, we have lots of classmates that work for Fastenal for the company. They are bending over composite boxes. In your composite, you have one of our inserts. As you place a box on, it goes down. You place another on, it goes down. You place one more on, it goes down. When you unload it, it goes back up. That is keeping every single box, every single lift in your safe zone. You are ultimately eliminating the possibility of injury in your space. This is a self-sufficient mechanism. There is no hydraulics. There's no external power source. This is low maintenance, low cost for your company. We decided that it was time to stop thinking outside the box and get right back in that box.
Next is We Fail Fast 2.
This is a safety lockout mechanism to prevent unauthorized use of manufacturing equipment, which may pose a threat to the users who have not been certified or trained. Corey here, he's going to open up the locking case, plug in the machine, and it goes out through a hole in the side. We have different size grommets to fit various gauges of cable. Here you see we have our phone holder, which has the built-in RFID scanning chip. So he slots it in there. This would flip the internal contactor controlled by an Arduino, which connects to that RFID chip. Lastly, when a machine may break down due to improper use, you can go back in the database, and since each user has a specific ID, you'll be able to see who was last using it when that machine broke.
Kind of an adjacent space, lockout, tagout. Have you guys thought at all about whether or not there's any use cases within that area of safety program management?
And we have considered other units that do physically lock out the machine for maintenance and other things, but this is a physical one that can be easily and quickly installed onto any machine without relying on the need for someone to read the tag.
Next up is the Ram Hawks.
It doesn't just affect the worker, but their families when a worker is hurt. And it can even cause a company to lose $40,000 to $80,000 in revenue per year. And our solution for that? Meet OTAD, the Open Tote Automated Dispenser.
OTAD sits on top of the conveyor and dispenses one tote at a time with the push of a button. The totes will land on the conveyor, ready to be filled and shipped off to any other part of the factory. OTAD will be built out of a steel frame, which will improve its durability and strength, which could allow it to hold more totes.
Our prototype is unique because it utilizes two simplistic steel rollers that will be sized for your tote.
We've seen some truly remarkable ingenuity thanks to the hard work of all the teams and the incredible support from our tool techs and mentors.
We cannot wait to hear what the judges think and who they're going to send to nationals.
Looking back at the criteria, I think the most important thing that I want to see the teams do is to really be able to talk about that cost-benefit analysis, that market feasibility of what they've put together.
All right, so we're down to 3.
I think we're down to 3, absolutely. The safe plug is really interesting to me. It could have a wide application in manufacturing, in makerspaces, in education.
I'll be looking for innovation and creativity. I want to see these teams approach a safety problem in a different way.
Haley, we had talked a little bit about the ergo safe insert, and like you're saying, like I see the injuries, like I see what's actually happening.
Yes, it does fix a big problem. My concern would be composites get broken all the time. People are rough with them. Would this insert survive that?
Probably at its core, the most important thing is, does it make a significant change in the lives of employees? All right, third one. You guys both had strong feelings about spill block, right? Like you were passionate.
I kind of thought maybe the interlocking system might leak a little bit. I think if it's done right, with the right materials, if it's a heavier rubber, I could see it being a great solution.
This is a custom die and some recycled material. Like they could start
ready to
producing this
Yeah.
very soon. It's a hard one to narrow down between these 3, but I think we've got it.
All right, everybody, let's recap real quick what's going to happen here. The winning team will receive $2,000, a custom-made trophy, and a spot at Nationals in November. Second place for innovation will be given, and that team will also travel to Nationals.
The runner-up moving on to nationals is the Ergo Safe insert by Pirates of the Mississippi. The top innovation trophy, $2,000, and moving on to nationals is the Safe Plug by We Fail Fast Too.
That wraps up an unforgettable Make 48 in Winona. Our debut at Southeast has been one for the history books.
A massive thank you to the teams for their hard work and creativity, and a very special thank you to Fastenal for making this event possible in their very own home state.
We look forward to seeing you at the next Make 48.